Okay, and welcome back. Today we are working here with Lucifer, Belial, Salos, and Baphomet, and I have in turn called each of them and gotten their agreement um, to whatever parts they want to play. Like I know Lucifer is going to be shining some light over things, and I know he's going to be directly manipulating some individuals' perceptions. That's kind of all I know, really. Uh, Belial is going to go about it in a bit of a different way. Now, I should state that these are impressions they've given me. These aren't um, tasks that I've given them. They just said I will help, and this is how they've indicated to me how they will help. Um, Belial's going to go at it from a couple different angles that I know of. We know Belial likes to do the legal things. He's good at it. So he's good at procedures, processes, and what makes those things tick, especially with people. I mean, it's mostly about people involved in those processes that he's exceptionally good. And he's kind of informed me that's part of the way he's going to go about things. I know he's going to have some ground troops out, uh, but I don't really know what they're going to do and if it's related to that or not. That's going to be up to him. So he's going to be acting in a couple different capacities. I'm not entirely sure how Salos here is going to be. I suppose I could show you their cards. Um, I'm not entirely sure how Salos is going to help. Um, I know there's some emotional influencing that he's going to be doing. And I'm not entirely sure how it's going to go, but I think there are some key people that he wants to influence, and so he's going to focus on those key people. And some of the other entities are going to be focusing on other key people. So it totally works for me that there are so many that are either going to be about influence, removing obfuscation, or things that they want to keep hidden, bringing things to light. I'm good with that because they all work differently. And this now what I have chosen this many for that if I was just flipping through the deck and just pulling some out rather than asking who wants to help with this as I go through each card. And no, I wouldn't have chosen that many. I have a tendency to go with fewer rather than more. But when I'm flipping through that deck and asking, hey, who's going to help? There are a lot of entities that are willing to help. And some will help a lot, and some will help a little, and some will help only in specific areas, and others are more general. But as long as the I almost said as long as my will be done, but as long as I achieve my goals, then I'm good with that. And how they go about that is really onto them when they volunteer in this manner. Now, if I just called them and asked them specifically for this, then I would probably have some more specific ideas of how I would want them to go about things. But in this case, since I just flipped the deck, say, hey, who wants to help? Then I'm going to take who wants to help, and then how they choose to help is going to be on them. Because I did come to them and say, hey, are you volunteering? I didn't ask them, hey, will you specifically help in this one way? It's kind of on me to accept the help that is given, or not. But of course, I'm typically going to accept it. As in this case. And I'm really not sure what Baphomet is going to do. I know it's related to something with health, but it's not the health of people; it's the health of something. I want to say it's like the health of like a community or a community egregore. In some way, Baphomet's going to help in that area, and so that's good enough for me. I don't really need to know more. The energy that I give. In this case, half of it is from the golden light that I've stored, and so the other half comes from me, and that's a very small price to pay for really good help, right? So first, since I've charged the candles, I've asked them what oils they want. Baphomet doesn't want any, so that's their choice, and it's her choice, excuse me. And the oils are going to be shared with however they chose, but they've already been charged, and I'm just going to blood them, oil them, and then light the candles, and then I'll cut this video as I get the next batch ready. We'll kind of do the same, so that way you aren't sitting through a 45-minute video again like the other nights. So let's go ahead and get this ready. All right, it's time for the stick. Oh shit! Yep, see. I don't get this very often, so you probably can't see it. Yeah, a little splatter. So that's what I'm talking about. But I know everybody doesn't like that, but that's the way it goes. It did get on my Bifrons card, so that happens. That happens. Actually, I have another. Here, let me start to get this going. I actually have another. Oh, you want that? All right, I'll give that to you. I have another version of this deck coming. I have a friend who's getting rid of some of their stuff that they don't want anymore, and that was one of the things they didn't want in their house anymore. So they're not going holy roller, but turning away from the Goetia more. All right, good. All right, now these two will be using the same oils, so. Oh, actually, I didn't realize if you could even see that or not. Probably don't care, but, you know. It was a good stick. Hell yeah. Okay. This is Hesperia Shining Veil oil. But Hesperia is closing their shop, so this is like liquid gold. It's for a good cause. Too many people are dying. Okay, there we go. And now, since I don't want to... Salos has different oil, so... Is my stick still good? Stick is still good. All right. That's what I'm talking about. And I did ask what colors they wanted based on the stuff that I have. I do have some black and yellow beeswax candles. I have some red candles too, but I've only got a couple of holders for those, so I can't exactly offer them to everybody. So usually don't offer when I mean they can ask for them, but it's kind of first come first serve, right? Yeah, I should learn to drill in rocks and crystals and stuff like that, and just start making little candle holders for those beeswax candles, because I really like the candles, but the holders are like super expensive. Well, for what it is, right? All right. Now Baphomet did not want the oil. I think I said that. So just this one here. There we go. And if you're wondering what you may not be wondering, but if you're wondering what I'm wiping my hands on when I do this, I keep these painter rags. They're a bit thicker than the small cotton, the bulk cotton ones. You can wash these if you want, but I keep these. I think I got them at. I think I got these at maybe Home Depot. But anyways, they work pretty well. Oops, I need to turn this candle because the wind's coming in. Okay, so I'll get sidetracked here in a bit. Thank you, my Lord Lucifer. Hail. Thank you for your help. Hail, my Lord Belial. Thank you for your help. Hail, Lady Baphomet. Thank you for your help. Hail, my Lord Salos. Thank you for your help. All right, let's make sure these catch. They seem to be good. I don't have problems with these small chime candles staying lit, but usually the Shabbat candles, Shabbos candles, they sometimes have problems staying lit. So let me move these over to my fire safe candle holder station or whatever the hell. It's an aluminum baking pan, so that we decided we weren't using anymore. In case anybody's been wondering what that is. It's just an aluminum baking pan that I repurposed. had gotten so scratched we didn't want to use it anymore. So, all right, so these 4 are done. Thank you to them. I'll move these off to the side. All right, I guess I won't cut the video. I'll just keep rolling. Okay, I'm going to go with the next, one of the auxiliary groups. I could have gone with that one. Okay, well, apparently this one needs to go next. I don't know why. But this group, as we talked about yesterday, of Balam, Ose, King Paimon, Barbatos, Bathin, and Decarabia. They all have some type of function with bringing things to light, removing illusions, and showing truth rather than fiction. Which is admittedly a very hard job today. You know. Let's go ahead and get these ready. So what I'm doing here, if you've seen one of my videos before, you kind of have an understanding how I go about doing this, but not all of you have. So what I'm doing here is here, let me close this window. It's going to cause that candle to burn much faster than I would care for. I'll energetically open up these sigils, ask them for their support in this. Since like I said before, since I didn't ask for a specific task from them, and instead they volunteered, then I won't ask them for specific ways that they're going to help. I just know that they're going to, and they've all already agreed in the volunteering process to work with Azazel. So I mean that is part of the deal. All right, so what I'll typically do is I'll put my finger over this. I do talk about doing this, different methods of doing this in the book I'm working on. My editor is tearing it apart right now. She's lovely for doing so. And I'll just energize this sigil real quick as I call out to Balam, Balam, Balam. I don't need to evoke them. I just need enough of them present that I can speak to them and get an answer. And usually I'll just feel like a yes or a no or an affirmative or a head nod, and then thank you, Balam. And then what I'll do is I'll send the question. You know, what color candle would you like? And some may not want candles, but most don't mind them because they get some free energy out of it, right? And that was an orange one. Okay, we can do that. I'll go back through and do oils actually later. So, my Lord Ose, Ose, Ose. Thank you. Red, okay. My Lord King Paimon, King Paimon, King Paimon. Thank you. That's a purple. My Lord Barbatos, Barbatos, Barbatos. Thank you. My Lord Bathin, Bathin, Bathin. I don't have yellow, my Lord, I'm sorry. Okay, let me see if I have a whitish cream colored. I've got one white that's a little stale yellow almost. That'll work, okay. All right, my Lord Decarabia. Thank you. All right, so usually when I get a candle color, I'll see the color in my head, and that's kind of how that goes. Oh my God, it's getting hot in here. That's one thing you gotta keep in mind when you're doing like lots of candle workings and stuff, is that it actually heats this room in here up quite a bit. All right, so anyway, so I'll see the color in my head because I've already sent the question, hey, what color candle would you like? And sometimes they just don't care, and then I'll literally just put my eyes on a candle and grab it. It's not. It doesn't have to be that complicated, right? It really doesn't. Because really, what they're getting out of this is I'm charging these candles, and then I'm blooding them on top of that, and then if they want oils, then I give them oils. And if they don't, then I don't, obviously. So, go. Okay. Now, sometimes they'll specify certain types of there we go. Oh, sorry. Okay. Sometimes they'll specify certain types of energies, or they'll say, I do not want this, or do not want that. And then that can change the equation a bit. But like I said, I'm only having to. None of these are going to be like supercharged candles. They just aren't in this case, right? Now, some of them they will, but in this case they aren't. So I'm taking energy that I've already gathered from the Golden Light Ritual, and then that I put about half that into the candle. I'll put about half of it. Half the candle is of that energy. Jesus Christ, having such a hard time fucking talking today because I'm thinking of too many things at once. Is what it is. So, all right, slow down a little bit. Okay. So half this is going to be the golden light. Half this is going to be my energy, and that's going to be good enough here, especially for these tasks. And sometimes it matters, and sometimes it doesn't. But I've been told lately to not fill more than half these candles with the golden light energy. I don't know why. So that's the way that goes. All right, so they've accepted. We've charged the candles. Now we've seen bleed on them, and then oils if people want oils. And while I'm kind of searching and listening for that, I'll tell you what comes to mind. I did some of that the other day. I'll tell you what comes to mind with some of these entities and how I think they're going to go about helping the process here. Oh, somebody wants the rose. Who wants the rose? Okay. I'm not gonna remember, so I gotta put things where they're gonna be, right? Okay, Barbados wants the rose. What's the rose? Okay. Veil. Balam. Okay. My Lord, what's that? Okay. That'll work? Okay. Alright. So, like Balaam, for example, I'm sure he's going to be bringing things to light. I mean, one of the things he does is works with invisibility. And so we want to kind of remove some of that obfuscation. So it's pretty obvious to me that that's kind of what's going to happen. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't... I can tell that he's kind of saying that isn't quite right. There are some things that are going to be hidden, but still. But that's the general idea. And he's okay with me saying that. Oseb is really good at making illusions appear and disappear, or make things appear one way when they're actually another way. And that's probably going to cause somebody to slip up and make some sort of one or more false statements that then have to be that then are proven to be false, and that would illuminate the lie, right? Excuse me a minute here. Thanks. All right, King Paimon is going to be doing a lot of things, I can tell. Mostly his underlings are going to be doing things while he directs and manages and oversees them. But his hands will be in some of this. So he is going to kind of work some of the will to fight and the mechanisms for fighting, but not necessarily at like the guns and bullets level. I don't want to say hearts and minds because that's it just doesn't really seem appropriate here, but it's the closest thing I can think of. So he's going to be working, things like government, probably be working a bit with Belial to make some legal things happen and maybe soften some stances to bring about a discontinuation. I don't want to say a peace because I don't know that a peace is going to be possible, but a discontinuation of at least this current round of fighting, right? Now, Barbatos he's an interesting spirit because he not only does he have to deal with things like the uncovered things, but you can see it right here. He says understands the tongues of animals. Well, humans are also animals, and so he can help people understand kind of what other people are actually saying, even if they aren't saying it. It's an influence thing, and I can tell that he's going to be partially involved with that. And another part that he's going to be involved with is causing kind of conversations to happen. Not necessarily, it doesn't mean they're going to be productive, right from the go, but causing that to happen, and that can at least give some sort of momentum in that way. And that's where I see this kind of happening. Both for people to understand when things are being said that are true and when things are not. And I don't necessarily mean us, the public, but where decisions are actually made, because they are not made in the public sphere. Right? Decisions are not made in the public sphere. Right. Then we have Bathan, who I can see where some of this is going, but usually when they say, transports from one plane to another, we're going to kind of be doing it opposite here. There's going to be a slowing of the inability of that, and I would ask that wouldn't include aid, but unfortunately in places like the Middle East, not just the Middle East, but from my own experiences in the Middle East, I'll say, I've seen that happen where influence campaigns and things like that are tied to resources and healthful pursuits and things like that. So aid coming in could get tied to political goals, and I mean they always are, but like hardcore sort of thing. And so I'm hoping that we can find a way to get aid in without necessarily bringing more war in also, right? I mean that seems reasonable to me. Well, it seems a reasonable goal. That's what I'll say. And I'm really not sure with Decarabia here. So sorry. People are cutting the grass earlier, and I'm allergic. I'm not really sure what's going on here, but I do know that Decarabia wants to somehow bring more of the truth to light, but it's in like an overall sense, not necessarily any specific piece of truth, right? It's more of an overall an area or a topic having truth brought from it, rather than just a couple of specific pieces that, I mean, no single piece of truth is really going to cause big change, in my opinion, with a lot of these entrenched feelings. And so we'll need an overall moving forwards with that as a category, even, or as a group, to set it up so other truths can come to light, and that's hopefully that's where it's going. At least that's where I think he's going, and I'm not feeling any resistance as I say that. So, all right, here we go. Let's blood, oil, and go. All right. Thank you, Malam. I should say, I do a lot with these entities and stuff, but I don't necessarily, I'm not really personally involved with some of them, right? Like Malam, for example, I don't really work with much. A lot of these entities I only work with in the Lessons of the Deck, or as I've gone through the 76-week Oasia, which I set down for a bit to get ready for this move. I should be able to pick it back up, though. I'm on like week 12 or something like that now. Anyways, that's usually the only interactions I have with some of them. Like some of the others, like Osa, I've used quite a bit in campaigns in the past. So we have a little bit more experience there, but I haven't worked with them nearly as in depth as I have, say, like Abaddon or which I guess technically Abaddon is not a Goetic, but Belial, you know, things, you know, entities like that. I don't want to say Pele because she's kind of a different category when people think about goetics and things such like that. But okay, did 2. Hail to you, King Paimon. Oops. I'm so sorry, I'm sniffling. Can't really help it much though. Alright. Alright. The stick is starting to slow down a little bit here, so I gotta milk it a little bit more. I don't know if you see how I'm doing that, but you know, push on one side and then the other, and it kind of forces it over. I mean, don't do it so hard that you're going to bruise yourself. I've done that before, just absent-mindedly. See, that's not enough. I need a new stick. Oops, shit. Where'd the damn part go? My cap came off. Oh, cap came off. There we go. All right. Oops, sorry. I know I keep hitting that, but I mean that little screen right there, it looks like everything's real far away, so I want to make sure. I need my witnesses. They didn't cheat the gods. Of course, they already know that. All right. Okay. Now, in the book I'm writing, though, I do have a non-goetic campaign and how I would go about doing it in there. Because I primarily don't work with goetics, you know, these days. Of course, I have obviously, but Shiny Veil, Shiny Veil. All right. Well, let me go ahead and do these. Oh wait, no, he wants the rose too. Okay. Oh, this is still good. Let's roll. At least I hope he wants the rose because I'm not getting any resistance. The rose this is a roller ball, so I have to put it on my hand and it makes a mess, and that's fine. But I like to put enough of it on my hands that I can do several candles if possible. Go. What did it say about a 45-minute video? Jeez. All right. See, little roller ball, and so I'm basically just gonna All right, now I can see that this is already starting to dry out on the candle. So 3s. I was wondering if I could do 2 or if I could do 3. And 2 is where you're still in that safe zone where it's not all dried out, or not drying out and flaking off. The 3 seems to be kind of getting close to it with the original ones. So, okay. At least with these candles, I can't speak for all candles. All right. Yes, I have taken my allergy medicine, so sorry. Okay, now we have Decorabia. Let's do the thumb with this one. My thumbs are hit or miss with the one I get a good stick with them. Again, don't stick yourself in the bone because it just stays. You don't want to risk any, you know, the infection. You don't want to risk the. Well, I mean, it is a lot more painful in a way for a lot longer, and unless pain is part of the offering, in which case I'll probably use a scalpel personally. Then it really isn't worth potentially infecting your bone. I mean, like I've said in the past, in other places, in other videos, don't die or lose a finger or something like that for your enemy, right? That's what they're supposed to do for you. go. All right. All right, let's get these lit, and then I'll have to go and do, probably start cooking dinner. So, Hail Balam, and thank you. Hail Ose, and thank you. Hail King Paimon, and thank you. Hail Barbatos, and thank you. Hail Batin, and thank you. Hail to Decaribia, and thank you. Okay, there we go. Second group going in. I mean, most of these entities are already starting to work on the processes themselves. Once they say they went in, and they know they're going to get, you know, paid, if you will, then if they want paid, some just don't. You know, I have to ask them, hey, you know, you sure? Anyways, all right, that's where we're going to stop here for the second video, and then we will pick up with the next group, starting with Ami.